Aside from iOS 11, the iPhone 8 and iPhone 8 Plus don't differ much from its predecessors. But every new iPhone comes new features, even if it's only a few. To help you use your new device to the fullest, we've rounded up some iPhone 8 and iPhone 8 Plus tips and tricks you need to know. If you're still craving more by the end, there are a lot more features and tricks in iOS 11 that you can check out in our iOS 11 tips and tricks guide. Toggle True Tone on or off. First available on the iPad Pro, True Tone is a display technology Apple has now brought into the iPhone. It automatically adapts the screen based on lighting conditions, displaying colors that are consistent in different environments. To turn True Tone on or off, go to Settings, Display and Brightness, and flip the toggle next to True Tone. Alternatively, you can swipe up the control center, press and hold on the brightness slider, and you'll find a quick toggle for True Tone and Night Shift here. How to add portrait lighting to your photos. Julian Shikata Digital Trends. If portrait mode wasn't enough, iPhone 8 Plus also has a beta feature called portrait lighting. It comes in 5 various types of lighting effects: natural light, studio light, contour light, stage light, and stage light mono. Instead of applying filters, portrait lighting uses facial landmarking and a depth map captured by the dual cameras to offer different lighting options. To use the effects, simply open the camera app and tap the portrait mode next to photo. You'll now see natural light with some circular logos above the shutter icon. Hold down and move your finger left through the carousel to scroll between all the options. Choose one and tap the shutter icon when you're positioned within the right distance to capture a photo. One quick note from Apple: for the stage light and stage light mono effects, you'll want to fill up the subject's face in the circle as much as possible with little background as possible. Portrait mode no longer takes 2 photos now. If you want the photo without the blur effect, you can now simply go to Photos, choose the portrait mode photo, tap Edit, and click on the yellow portrait logo at the top. It will become transparent, meaning the portrait effect has been turned off. You can also choose a different lighting effect at the bottom of the screen if you didn't like the original. How to shoot video in higher resolution. Both the iPhone 8 and iPhone 8 Plus have received an upgrade when it comes to video quality. Both devices are now capable of shooting up to 4K at 60 frames per second and 1080p at 240 FPS for slow motion video. To capture your videos in high resolution, go to Settings, Camera, Record Video, and you'll see a list of options to choose from. There's a separate section to customize the slow motion video settings under Camera titled Record Slow-Mo. Want to scan a QR code? You don't need a third-party app to do that. In the same camera settings, you'll see a toggle for Scan QR codes. Make sure it's toggled on to utilize it, and then all you need to do is open the camera app and point it at a QR code. On iOS 10 and prior, you were able to access auto brightness through Settings, Display Brightness. On iOS 11, auto brightness now lives under the Accessibility section instead. Go to Settings, Accessibility, Display Accommodations, and toggle on auto brightness. You can still control normal brightness settings through the control center. How to enable emergency SOS. Emergency SOS is automatically activated on your iPhone, but there's an additional feature you can enable called Auto Call. It will call emergency services when you press the power button rapidly 5 times. It won't start dialing right away, but the option to call will appear. Touch ID will also be disabled temporarily until you enter your passcode. To enable feature, go to Settings, Emergency SOS, and toggle on Auto Call. You can also toggle on Countdown sound to play a warning sound while the setting is counting down to call emergency services. To learn more about what you can do with Apple's latest mobile operating system, make sure to check out our roundup of iOS 11 tips and tricks.